Welcome back to Sushimi's House. I'm your loving host, Master Sushimi, joined today by my sweet sister, Ice Bubbie.
Hello.
And my good puppy son, Mr. President, aka Therozo, aka Teddy. And we are back with some more Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Boos are kind of cute, but I sure wouldn't want to meet one in a dark alley.
Wow, that's specific.
If I ran into one in the bathroom in the middle of the night, well, never you mind what I'd do.
Is she using the bathroom?
I'd... Suck!
Yeah, you can't. You must wait. You must.
Give him a kiss!
Give him a kiss.
Wahoo! A kiss.
Yeah, at any rate,
These are beefy.
wow. To summarize last episode's story, we bought a townhouse, new build, very exciting. We'll be moving in like a month and a half.
Yeah, you guys got to customize it a little bit, right?
No.
Or no, somebody else had already done most of the like customization work, and you guys were like,
correct.
Hey, their deal fell through.
No pun intended. We swooped in on this deal.
Hey,
so
swooper.
we went to go see the older houses that he wanted me to see. So actually, a funny story there. So we went to go see the one in the town that's like, again, 30-40 minutes away from where we currently live, our apartment. And I went where I used to work. And, you know, he was like, you know, I'm willing to compromise. You should be willing to compromise and have a longer commute. Like, I know you're happy to only drive 15 minutes, but like, you can drive a little longer. And I was like, okay, you know, literally not trying to put mileage and spend more gas money, but okay, you know, fine. Again, I will keep an open mind.
I can't believe I missed that.
We drove past the hospital I used to work at, and the house was in a neighborhood right behind it. And when we left, he was like, yeah, that felt a little silly to make you do that every day. And I'm like, yeah, you get it now. You get it, right? Like, that would be ridiculous for me to drive past that every single day. But then when we got to the house, because again, the house was like made to look cute and pretty and whatever, like they'd updated things. But when we parked, the driveway was like, so our parents have a steep driveway here at this house. This thing was like
Steeper
vertical.
Still? Holy shit.
Like
that's a roller coaster.
My calves burned going up it.
Oh, that's bad.
So we parked, we looked up, and Jonathan was like, what the hell? He was like, this wasn't in the pictures. And our realtor, who was very kind to go out of his way to drive all the way to this town on a Sunday to show us this house, was like, yeah, they don't usually put that in the pictures because they don't want you to see it until you get here. And he's like, do you still want to see the inside? And at that point, like, Jonathan was already like, And I was like, oh, that's the reaction we got.
That's so weird.
Weird. Yes, let's go inside. We're already here.
We're keeping an open mind.
And as we're keeping an open mind. I was being a little sassy.
A little shitty.
You know what? I actually wasn't. I tried because he was right. I was like, you know what? You're right. You meet me in he spoils me and like does whatever I want 99.9% of the time. So I was like, you know what? You're right. I should be more considerate. I should keep an open mind. I should meet you in the middle a little bit. So I actually wasn't saying a word. Like when we drove past the hospital, I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet as a little mouse, you know, just chilling. We parked at the house. I still said nothing when I saw the driveway. He was the one that was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, yeah, it's a little steep, huh? But like left it at that. The realtor's like, it's not usually in pictures. I was like, yeah, that unfortunately makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad you remembered. We'll only need like 4 more, but it's okay. At least we know where they are. And as we're going through the house, it just felt weird. And not in my like
the vibes were off.
Yes, but not in like I think there's a ghost here. I swear. I know we're in Creepy Steeple, so that is what the vibe would be. But no, I was like, it just feels weird. And finally, Jonathan was like, "There's not a single TV in this house.
Oh,
not one TV." And the realtor was like, yeah, so this house was bought in September and then was back on the market in October for $100,000 more expensive.
Oh, okay.
He was like, no one lived in this house in that month. So this is an investor property. And we were like, he's like, they will not disclose to me the age of the HVAC or a lot of other things like that.
Oh, those are all big waving dicks of red flags.
Yeah, right. And so I'm like,
I'm actually going to.
I'm just doing a very demure, very mindful little nod, like, okay.
Interesting.
And meanwhile, Jonathan's like, My wife is right. I should listen to her a little more. And so we finished touring the house, and he was like, yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. And I was like, totally fair. And I was like, so, like, are you cool with my input now? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, come on. And he was like, no, I know. And I was like, no, I know. We had to see it for ourselves. We had to make that decision because pictures are very different. We had to make the decision for ourselves with our own eyes. And that's when he was like, hey, also, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. It would be so silly for you to drive past your old hospital every single day. And I was like, thank you very much for understanding.
Yeah.
And he was like, it just took me driving here to notice that. And I'm like, then that's okay. At least you noticed it all. I appreciate it. And so we went to go see a second house because this was all before D&D. Like, I told our realtor, hey, we're going to look at 2 older houses. Please humor me. We're probably not going to buy them. But I want to be fair to Jonathan's desires during this house hunting journey.
To see bad houses.
Yes.
To see bad far houses.
Yeah, yes. So we went to go see that one, and then so we went to go see that one at like, I don't know. I think we met up at like 10:30 on, again, like a yucky, rainy, so windy Sunday morning. That too, by the way, little tip: if you're gonna go see a house, do it on a rainy day. That is the best time to see a house because then you see where their water is going to collect or end up when it's raining.
You see where shit pools.
And that backyard was wet.
Oh.
And when we went there, and I was like, yikes. So then we went to go see the other house that was like closer to where I currently work, closer to where, you know, here where our parents live. And we parked, and same thing. Driveway was a vertical upslope. And so again, Jonathan was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I was like, yeah, I guess they hid this one too. Did that actually heal?
It used an item to steal 5 HP from Goombella.
My god.
So it's back up to full despite the fact that I...
So rude. Dude. Talk about houses here, man. Having a real adult conversation.
Right.
And, so we went to go see that second house, and same thing, the driveway's so fucking steep. It's also cracked the way the first one was.
Yikes.
We were like, my god. And so at that point, he's like, damn, you gotta be shitting me. At this point, it is 11:15, 11:30. Because of the distance that we had to drive between these houses and shit.
Sure.
And, our realtor's like, I, by the way, was also an appraiser. So I always do a tour of the house before I even bring my clients. And I like check for things like mold and humidity and yada yada. We're walking around the outside of this house. The siding is rotting off.
Wow.
And I was like,
Not a good sign.
yeah. So at that point, he was like, do you guys want to go inside? I look at Jonathan, he looks at me, and he was like, your call. I said, no. Don't waste my time. I'm not going in there.
Fair.
The outside is rotting. I'm good.
Yeah. Because you already know that's going to be an expense.
Yeah. And so he was like, yeah, totally fair. So then at that point, again, it's 11:15, 11:30. We have D&D at 1 o'clock with you guys. And so now that Jonathan has
guys,
seen...
we're cool nerds.
We're cool nerds. We do like D&D at least like... Well, now that Jonathan's schedule has calmed down, we have been doing D&D more consistently. And so we had D&D planned for 1 o'clock. And so that's why I told the realtor, hey, we can't hang out past like 12:30.
I don't think we've talked about our D&D campaign on this.
No, we haven't.
medium.
We haven't.
Which is funny because we had like a session, not this past session, but the one right before that went so wild.
Oh my god, I can't believe we never unpacked that on mic.
Yeah, we should, but I don't want to interrupt. You're already on a roll.
Don't worry. That's a good lead-in, though. I really appreciate that.
Sure.
I like that. And so you know, Jonathan, you know him. You've met him. He gets excited. He wants it, like, now. Him and I are kind of similar in that regard. It's like, I see it, I want it, I take it. I want it now. So he was like, well, I saw these 2 houses that are old that need work. Now I'm gonna meet you where you are. I want to go see a townhouse now.
Okay, I respect that.
I want to see one now. And I was like, you know, sweetie, I maybe we can see like one, but like, no, we're not gonna do it one. And he was like, I love you. I love our friends. I love that we do D&D. Say that out loud again.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he didn't say that quite yet. He was like, think about that. And I was kind of like, I was like, it's not even about the D&D thing. I just feel terrible. Because he was like, can we cancel? And I was like, the day of, an hour and a half before? I'm like, I feel terrible.
That is a little shitty to be like, hey, fuck it.
I was like, I don't want to cancel an hour and a half before.
Especially because at that point, you guys weren't sure you were buying a house.
Exactly.
You were looking at houses.
Correct. So I was like,
which, statistically speaking, do not move.
very, very different. So I was like, honey, I feel terrible doing that, canceling right before. And I was like, we still got time. We still got, like, I was like, our apartment's like 20 minutes from here. We've got another hour. I was like, we could go look at something and then go back home. And so at that point, realtor just making conversations like, so what are you guys up to? Like, what are you going to be doing later? And that's when I said out loud, oh, we're going to play D&D with some friends online. And he was like, oh, I know you said you had prior commitment. I thought you were like,
I thought you were doing real shit.
He tried not to say it like that, but it did come out a little bit that way. And at that point,
that's when you were like, oh.
That's when Jonathan was kind of like, hey, looking at houses is like our future. That's like really important. I think our friends will understand if we need to delay.
And we were just like, please do.
You guys were so kind. You guys were so good.
It would be insane for us to be like, no.
Because I instantly started getting like chest tightness and like nauseous about like being like, because again, I didn't want to do that to you guys. Like, hey, I'm canceling. So I was like, okay, let's not cancel. I was like, can we delay? And he was like, yeah, fuck it. If you think we can look at houses and make D&D, that's like best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's ideal.
And he's like, but I'm like, you know me, I'm an ambitious woman. If I can make it happen, I will.
Okay, I think I can do a fight here.
Yeah. Punch. Hee-hoo. You said you'd be nice. You haven't been nice.
Let's get him, guys.
Let's get him, boys. And so then at that point we went to this neighborhood. So the townhouse we were gonna go look at was the one that I looked at with our parents months before. That one is like a pretty good in between of our parents and his parents. So I was like, this is perfect. It's new build. It's close to the interstate, which would allow me to get to work pretty quick. Great.
And him, like, he commutes for work regardless, but
yeah.
If you guys are in the boonies, that means he has to drive to the highway, to the freeway, to even begin commuting to work, really.
Exactly. And so,
which I don't think he had considered.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, because he's like, well, he's like, I travel anyway, and I'm like, oh, shush. But anyway.
Yeah, but like traveling on a highway is so different from traveling to the highway to travel.
Right. And
but
so
anyway,
we Goombella, would you fuck this guy?
Yes.
Fair. She's a size queen. Quite literally.
Wow.
So but that place didn't open till 1 o'clock. Again, the time D&D is supposed to start. So I was like, you know what? Let's kill time. You keep healing. Are you okay?
No, that's a badge.
That's healing's
automatic.
good, but you were squinting at it.
Well, because I thought he was going to attack me, and then he just did that.
He's blocking.
I don't think so.
Actually, I didn't realize the audience was all booze.
Oh yeah, it is all booze, huh?
Oops, all booze. So we.
Oh, it's technically floating. I can't hit it.
I see.
With a hammer. That sucks.
So to kill time, we were like, you know what? Let's kill. The realtor had been wanting me to look at the townhouse that we ended up buying way back when we looked at the other one.
Which means he had clocked you guys.
He did. He had recommended from the start, like, you guys should buy a house that you can make into like your starter home. That way you're not stressed about affording it. And then down the line, should you choose to, you could even rent it in the future.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's an investment. He's like, a home is an investment. But again, at that point, Jonathan was like, not even willing to consider a townhome. So I was like, hey, I super appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain this to me. It's not going to happen, you know?
Did they steal an item from you?
Yes. They stole like a clock.
Oh, no.
They put the clock on you.
Yeah, they
mobilized. And
well, that's not ideal.
So he was like, can we go look at the one that I thought would be good for you guys to kill time until this other place opens to go look at it?
On Bushi?
Maybe.
I think I have 2 of these anyways.
Yeah. So we went to go kill time. Looked at of course, the model townhouse, and of course Jonathan's like, ooh, wow, it's huge. I'm like, yeah, told you. Like, now I can be sassy, because now I've proven my boy, and I can be like, hey, yeah, I tried to tell you, I really did.
I'm not very good at that.
And so at that point, we go look at they're like, these are the models. There's a couple available down the road that way. And when we go look at them, the salesperson is like, by the way, this specific one was under contract. And we were like, what's wrong with it? It's a new build. How could it possibly? Fuck.
Oh, wow. That's a complicated stylish, because I got the stylish off, but then because I was so focused on that, I didn't get the
multi. Yeah.
Yeah, bummer. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna sweet treat just so that this doesn't go horribly awry. But I think we got this in the bag.
Yeah. And he was like, so it fell through because the couple that had purchased it got relocated through work. So they like had no choice. And he was like, now, its price is this. It's higher than a lot the ones next to it. I had already talked to my uppers about decreasing it because it's not going to be appealing to people if it's more expensive than everything else. He's like, that being said, all our houses come with like microwave dishwasher oven / kitchen. This one is going to also have fridge, washer, dryer, and you fucker, and blinds. So we were like, damn, that's like a couple grand already. Like, you don't have to think about. So we didn't customize it because it was already all pre-selected because, again, it had been pre-purchased. But, like, similarly, the backsplash for the kitchen, the couple had upgraded and gotten a nicer version, you know? So we ended up... So he was like, you have to close on this house by March. Like, end of March, you have to be able to close on this house. And we were like, done. And that's how we very quickly bought a house, because it's one of those things where we looked, we liked it, and then we were going to look at the other place. But once he presented this deal, and it was a really good one, we were like, we can't let it go. And also, we already really liked what we saw. Also, the townhouse we bought will have a 2-car garage. The one we were going to look at would have only been 1 car. And in all this mess, Jonathan is getting a new car soon.
Ooh, level up. Hell yeah.
Hey! He already paid the deposit, but he's waiting on it to be built and delivered, because that's how new cars are now. You have to, like, wait on them. So our realtor's like, by the way, when you buy a house, you can't be, like, fucking with your credit or doing anything. No big expenses, guys, okay? And I look at him, and he looks at me like, and I was like, so he bought a car, and he was like, I can't. You guys did what? And I was like, well, the car's not here yet.
Right, technically it's not financed yet.
So, like, it's probably fine. But anyway, that worked out. That's fine. It's not a problem. But it was funny because he was like, no big purchases, and we were like.
So about that thing you just said, damn, maybe I should have gotten BP, but.
Oh, I thought you did. Oops.
No, well, because we'd been talking about how my HP was lower than my party members for so long that it was like starting to annoy me.
That's fair. Well.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could get rid of, like... Oh, that's why she does so much damage.
Oh. Gave her steroids.
Yeah. So that's 6. If I got rid of that, that would do it. But then... Well, here's some... Okay. I know how this game works, so I'm actually going to do this for an upcoming thing.
Yeah, true. You kind of are. You've read ahead.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to save for that.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm actually going to go drop a save as well.
True.
Ba-dum-bum. And now we don't get accosted by ghosts when we're in here.
Yes.
Just huge.
Huge.
I think the first time I played this game, I thought that was like inevitable. Like they're just always, unless you keep moving, they're just always gonna get you.
Yeah.
So I just kind of hated that room, and then eventually I don't know what made me go, hey, I could just like do the like spin hammer move and get rid of them, and it worked, and it kept working. So I was just like, shit. Oh,
there's more.
Okay. Well, next time at Sushimi's house, we deal with this ghost problem. Later.
Bye.
You gotta know you're in for something special. You gotta feel it in your bones. Oh, you're gonna find what you need all in time. If you're looking for it, na 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 na.